The United States, a journey through history. Welcome to our exploration of one of the most dynamic and influential nations in the world, the United States of America. This video is designed to guide students on an educational journey through centuries of U.S. history, exploring its milestones, challenges, and cultural evolution. Understanding this history is essential to appreciating the diversity, innovation, and progress the country embodies today. So, let's dive in and uncover the key events and cultural transformations that shaped the United States. Long before the concept of the United States existed, the land was home to diverse Native American tribes. These communities thrived for thousands of years, with distinct cultures, languages, and traditions. From the Navajo to the Iroquois, each group adapted to their environment, with some farming, others hunting, and many engaging in trade. Their societies were deeply connected to nature, celebrating it through ceremonies and storytelling. This flourishing civilization laid the foundation for the rich cultural tapestry of the Americas. The arrival of Europeans in the 15th century marked a turning point. Explorers like Christopher Columbus reached American shores, opening the door for further settlement. With their arrival came cultural exchanges but also conflicts with Native Americans. Tragically, indigenous populations suffered greatly due to disease and warfare, forever altering the landscape of the Americas. By the 17th century, 13 English colonies emerged along the eastern seaboard. These settlements reflected a mix of ambition and survival. While some sought economic prosperity, others, like the Pilgrims, sought religious freedom. Over time, these colonies developed their own identities, influenced by European traditions and local factors such as geography and climate. Yet, the colonies faced challenges, including labor shortages, disputes with Native Americans, and tensions with Great Britain. By the mid-18th century, tension between the colonies and Great Britain reached a breaking point. Policies like the Stamp Act and Tea Act imposed harsh taxes on the colonists, who had no representation in British Parliament. In 1776, the Continental Congress declared independence, setting the stage for the Revolutionary War and the formation of a new nation. The Revolutionary War was a bold and risky fight against the world's most powerful military at the time. Key battles like Bunker Hill and Yorktown tested the resilience of American forces. Leaders like George Washington, alongside international allies such as France, played essential roles in securing victory. Building a nation from scratch was no easy task. Their work established foundational principles such as checks and balances and individual rights. The Bill of Rights soon followed, outlining key freedoms like speech, religion, and assembly. The early years of the United States were marked by growth and experimentation. Leaders like Thomas Jefferson oversaw events like the Louisiana Purchase, which effectively doubled the nation's size. However, the new government also faced challenges, including forming political parties and balancing state and federal powers. The 19th century saw the U.S. expand its territory westward, fueled by the belief in manifest destiny, the idea that Americans were destined to settle the continent. This movement brought opportunity for settlers but also devastating consequences for Native American tribes, who were often displaced through violent conflict or forced relocation. Despite these challenges, the expansion was key to shaping America's future. The Industrial Revolution was a turning point, as the nation transformed from an agrarian society into an industrial powerhouse. Factories, railroads, and new technologies revolutionized daily life, creating job opportunities but also introducing harsh working conditions. Urban centers like New York and Chicago flourished, marked by an influx of immigrants seeking a better life. This era reflected resilience and innovation, driving the nation forward. As America progressed, deep divides grew between the North and South over slavery and economic priorities. The institution of slavery in the South not only fueled the economy but also sparked moral and political debates across the country. Abolitionist movements in the North gained traction, highlighting the urgent need for justice and equality. The election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860 and the secession of Southern states set the stage for the Civil War. This brutal conflict, which claimed hundreds of thousands of lives, was fought over the survival of the Union and the abolition of slavery. Key turning points like the Emancipation Proclamation and the Battle of Gettysburg led to Union victory in 1865, reshaping the nation's identity and paving the way for a more inclusive democracy. After the Civil War, the Reconstruction era sought to rebuild the South and integrate freed slaves into society. While progress was made, including the passing of the 14th and 15th Amendments, the period was fraught with challenges. Resistance from southern states and the rise of segregation policies created lasting divisions that would take decades to address fully. The late 19th century, known as the Gilded Age, was marked by economic expansion and inequality. Immigrant labor helped fuel rapid industrialization, but the working class faced low wages and poor conditions. This gave rise to the Progressive Era in the early 20th century, with reform movements addressing social issues. The U.S. entered World War I in 1917, contributing significantly to the Allied victory. This involvement cemented America's role on the global stage. The post-war economy flourished during the 1920s, but the Great Depression of the 1930s caused widespread hardship. Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal programs helped revive the economy, preparing the U.S. to take on an even greater role in World War II. In World War II, the U.S. became a decisive force for the Allied victory, following events like the Pearl Harbor attack. American troops and resources played a pivotal role in defeating Axis powers. The post-war years saw the U.S. emerge as a global superpower, actively shaping international relations through initiatives like the Marshall Plan. The 20th century saw intensified efforts to combat inequality through the civil rights movement. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks advocated for justice, leading to legislative gains such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964. These efforts fueled broader movements for equality, emphasizing the evolving nature of American democracy. The late 20th century ushered in a technology revolution. Innovations like the moon landing, personal computers, and the internet positioned the U.S. at the forefront of global progress. Culturally, the nation continued to evolve through advances in arts, entertainment, and multicultural contributions. In the 21st century, the United States continues to navigate complexities, from addressing social inequalities to combating climate change. Events like September 11, 2001, shaped modern policies, while the rise of the digital age connects Americans to the global community in unprecedented ways. The story of the United States is one of resilience, progress, and cultural diversity. Each chapter reflects the struggles and triumphs of people striving to create a better future. By understanding the journey of this nation, students can appreciate its rich history and explore its continuing impact on the world.